All right, good day, everybody. Welcome once again. We are going to go through Python today and look at go through a basic overview to get an understanding, a theoretical understanding of the language and how we can begin to develop and grow with it. The content of what we're going to go through, we're going to look at why we need programming in DevOps, and we're going to also look some use cases, some areas where programming needs to come into play in the day-to-day activities of an engineer. Um, we'll also look at why exactly we're doing our scripting with this Python language. And then we'll go through the basic syntax and the basic structure of the language, including variables, data types, statements, conditional statements, um, looping, and functions and modules. Then we look at the important modules for DevOps and automation using Python programming. So startups, there are many languages that can be used for your tooling and your automation and DevOps engineering. Um, Most people um, straight out of the Linux environment will be used to using Bash scripting. And so when we speak on scripting, easy for your mind to go to Bash scripting because that's what most Linux um, practitioners would be used to. But it's important to know why specifically for this class, for this course, we are choosing to use Python. It's as you're in this year developing, you find yourself possibly working with various um, operating systems. So primarily, you might be using them. So there can be situations where you need to work on Windows server as well. Bash scripting is peculiar to Linux, as PowerShell is peculiar to Windows. Having a language that you can use in any environment, any operating system, it's important and essential for various use cases. Especially in situations where you need to run configuration management operations on various servers, across various servers and various operating systems. Yes, you need a language separate from the scripting language of that operating system, be it PowerShell, Bash. So here, which we using Python for scripting. You can also script with languages like Go or Rust or even JavaScript as the case may be. Python specifically has various libraries in it. That's personally okay. So it has various libraries in it that allow for writing scripts. Um, a language is as good and as wide as its community and its users and the developers that use it, that work with it. So Python has a large, robust community of developers that are every day working to create modules and create frameworks to solve various solutions and packages to work on various use cases. So having such a wide community that you can work with is a great use of the language and why we use Python. The next is automation tools like Ansible are built using Python. So it's basically need to the, the extend the tool like Ansible and the modules to specifically work with your use case. Python will be a great tool for you to work in that kind of project. Okay. So some programming use cases um, in DevOps, provision and configuration management. And there are various libraries that you can use like Boto3 for provisioning in AWS environments or Azure environment, specifically with Python. DevOps platform tooling like Ansible. This is very, very important and a clear use case for Python in DevOps. And cloud automations, monitoring and alerting and events, driven operations. when you come into cloud environment, you see you can work with serverless functions. That's the Lambda in AWS environment, functions in Azure. Um, and this can be connected to run certain operations based on events that are triggered through your monitoring system. So Python can be used to Python can be used in such use cases, carry out operations based on events, and also for data engineering and MLOps operations. Some popular programming languages in DevOps, we have Golang, we have Python, we have Rust, we have Bash, we have PowerShell, and so many more. Finally, why particularly Python? Let's use automating processes within your environment, within your infrastructure environment, helps to improve the efficiency of your workflow. And using tools and using libraries and modules created with Python can really improve your automation within your DevOps environment. So if it's crash course, let's go into some of the syntax and uses of and how we can work with Python. So there's certain parts of your code that's going to need to be run by the interpreter. It's important to have a way to section out that part of code, maybe for something things like descriptions of a particular section of code to improve readability, putting out instructions, writing studio codes to help you with structuring your code and structuring your algorithm, and to test a particular section of code and not test up another section. You need to be able to put comments in your code. Indentation to specify a block of code. Python uses strict indentation rules where to put a block of code within your code, you indent it. That is to leave certain spaces before you start writing the code. Leave a portion of space before you start writing the code from the beginning line. That's what indentation is. And it helps you to structure your code and into blocks and functions and statements. A variable in programming is a container which would link to a particular address space in the memory and it holds a particular data, either a constant data or a more dynamic kind of data type that can be changed later in the code. But variables hold values of data of various data types. So you have data types also. You have string data types, you have numerical data types like integers and it's you also have alphanumeric data types that you can work with. Then a function is a block of code that can perform a particular task or a particular operation within your code. And when you're working with structural functional programming, you can have various functions doing various things in your code. And then you call them at various points in your code to perform a particular operation or perform a particular task. Now, looking specifically at variables, um, to create a variable in Python, you just specify the variable name and assign it to the value that is true for it. In some programming language is different from Python. You will need to specify the data type, or you need to specify the the data type both of the variable and data type of the value it should receive. You might also need to specify it before assigning a value to it. And Python takes care of all that and allows you to specify the value, the variable, and assign a value to it. And this one code. Also, some rules to your naming conventions, how you should name a variable in your code. The first one that should start with a letter on underscore class. Starting a variable with a number will throw an error to you. It's something it's not allowed by the Python framework itself. Variable names also can also be only be of a numeric character, that is A to Z or number 0 to 1 or symbolic characters. If you have a question, just drop it in the comment section. Variable names are also case sensitive in that the variable with in a small, they can be of the same name, but the naming convention matters. And that will create different variables. Like you see here, we have age as a variable, but with different um, capitalizations. And these are three different variables. They are not the same one because of the case sensitivity of the language. And finally, a variable name cannot be one of Python keywords. Like some keywords that are saying Python can be if, elif, for. You can't have variable names that already have the names as Python keywords. Okay, so data types in Python, we have for the text data types, we have strings. And these are data types that contain characters, alphabetic characters, such as maybe a name like James. So James, which is a name variable type, it's expected to have this to receive this to hold this thing, which is alpha get characters, alphabet characters, in that variable type. Numeric types include integers or floats, which are decimal characters or real numbers, integers of floats or doubles. Some sequence types will be your data structures like lists, tuple sets, and mappings are dictionary, which map certain variables, certain keys to values, key to value pairs, your mapping data types. Then you have rules which code the value of either true or false. Then you have binary types and non-binary types. These are various data types that you interact with as you go choosing this language. Then we have conditional statements, which help you to specify various conditions and various actions. Bit of in your code. And say you need to specify that when this kind of input is sent, this kind of output, or this kind of equation should occur. Maybe if you get an even number, you should add two values together. And if you get an odd number, you should subtract two values. You can use an if else condition to specify that. There are other conditional statements like case conditions, switches as well. So yeah, if else helps to evaluate particular condition, because particular action depending on the results of that condition. And some logical conditions we have equal, equal to, not equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to. greater than or equal to. Looping in programming helps you to perform a particular action for a task until a particular condition is met. And while loops, a condition is a particular action is started and it performs this action until a particular condition is met. Here we have that this loop to keep printing the value of I until the value of I, as long as the value of I is less than 6. To stop as soon as the value of I is equal to 6. And after every loop, after every execution, it increments, that is, it increases the value of I by 1. So it will start out with 1, and after it runs through the loop the first time, it increments it, it prints it out again until the value is equal to 6. Another type of, as far as the value is equal to 6, another type of loop is the for loop, where you have an action taking place for a range of values or within a particular, as far as it's within a particular range of set of values. So you have a range of 6 values and it prints out the value of I within that range. Okay. So how many people can hear me? Could you put up your hand really quickly? Yeah. Hello. Um, Let me try to speak up, please. I hope I hope you can hear me now. Hello.
Yes, I can hear you, sir.
Okay. Thank you, sir. So let's go ahead. So speaking of two functions now, a function would be a particular section of your code or within your code, or a particular block of code that is written to perform a particular task. Right? So you can have a function to read from a file and a separate function to write to the file within the same code. Now, functional programming helps with both readability and reusability of your code. That is, it helps code to be more understandable for other people to work with it. And it also helps you to um, streamline the execution of the code to make it more optimized. So using functions, you can have a different function. You can write out a function, create a function to perform a particular task, and then you can call it later in the code as many times as you would want at various parts of the code. So um, that takes us into what modules are. Now, a module is a collection of various functions in a file that you can import into a different file, a different code to work with. So you can have different developers or even external or Python has even built-in modules that you can call to perform um, various operations so that you wouldn't have to rewrite an entire logic of operations just to perform a particular simple task. Say you want to perform a mathematical operation, you wouldn't need to write the entire logic for that operation. You can just simply import a module that already has that written in it, um, and use that within your code to work on what you want in particular. Does that make sense? Okay. So now simply just to differentiate the various technologies you hear around modules. A module is a collection of various functions. Now, when you have different functions, different modules um, of the same type, the same performing the same type of function packaged into one, and that's known as a package. And the various packages make up a library. But a library is different from a framework in that a framework gives you a particular structure with which you should build your program. And a library lets you to be more flexible in using the various packages within it. Now, quickly moving to the use of Python within DevOps. We would be talking about various important modules that are used within DevOps environments, within the Linux environment, in system and infrastructure engineering as a whole, relating to Python, various Python modules that are used. Python in DevOps is used through modules that are built, and you can build out a module particularly for a use case, but within the community and within the ecosystem, there are various important modules that you should know about and you should be able to use to work efficiently with your machines, with your infrastructure. There are modules um, to interact and manipulate and execute operations on your shell within your terminal. Um, there are modules to work on various processes running within your machine. There are modules to even work with databases and um, various types of services. There are modules that you can use on different cloud platforms, still within the Python context. So some of the important ones that we can talk about today include the OS model, the sub-process model, the sys model. There's the platform model, the PSUT, which is the um, process and system utility model. There's the JSON model, which helps you to create and work with the JSON notation. There's the login model. And finally, there's the Vector 3 model, which is the model for interacting with AWS services, AWS cloud platform using Python. So the OS model helps you to interact with your operating system and helps you through your terminal. You can use it within your code to um, handle various operations that you normally handle within your terminal from within the code. And if you have your operations such as creating directories within your system, working with directories, creating files, deleting files, writing to files, and deleting directories as well, using your OS model. You can write this within your code and automate a process to do this for you using Python. That's why the OS model and working with automation is very important. It's curious to learn. So you have something like the OS gets control of current working directory. You have OS init directory, list directory, remove directory, there's remove file, and there are many more functions that you can work with within this module. I would encourage you to go through the documentation to get more, which we will do after the class. Okay, and another one that we look at is the sys module. The sys module is used to manipulate and runtime environments, the Python runtime environment. So say you want to carry out tasks like updating your path, your Python path, checking the particular version of your Python environment, or various manipulation operations that you want to perform on the Python runtime that you're working with. When you create a virtual environment, install various packages within your runtime environment, and you want to do that from your code, you want to automate that, right? You can do that using your sys model. Another one is the sub-process model, which helps you to interact with sub-process model, which helps you to interact with various processes um, within your environment. So the Python sub-process model is a tool that allows you to run other programs and other commands from your Python code. So you can you can start various um, programs on the computer you're working with, on the server that you're working with, using from within your code by using this sub-process module. And the sub-process module helps you to also obtain, to also give inputs to the command or the program that you run, get outputs, get errors, and work with that within your code. So if you want to save a particular output of a process to a variable, use that data within the code. You can use the sub-process module to perform that kind of function. Okay. So we can go into questions now before we go into working on this practically. I expect that there might be a lot of questions from what we've talked about. Okay, thank God.
Okay, so it's not exactly a question, but I'd like to know what version of Python we'll be using.
Yeah, so we'll be working with the version 3. Um, I'm not sure what the minor version is, but the major version is version 3 because that's what the most recent stable version is. Right. So if anybody has version 2, it will be good to update that to version 3 so that we can all be using the same version. Okay. Is there any other question? Before we dive in? So I'll share my screen again so that we can continue with a little practical overview of what we just talked about. Okay. Can you all see my screen?
I can see your screen, sir, but please, can you zoom it a bit more? I can see your terminal very well.
Okay. So really quickly before we begin, we are presently working in on our computers directory. A good practice would be to create a virtual environment. What that is to create an environment separate from your real local environment so that you can install various softwares and using type and import various modules right there in the virtual environment, which will be separate from your main local environment. So that's something that Python allows you to do just so that you can isolate your different environments. Okay. So using Clip, which is the Python package manager, you can install virtual environments. Yeah. Um, a question.
Yes, sir. Sir. Good evening, sir. Sorry for coming late. So what you're doing right now is on your terminal. Right?
Yes, please. Yes. This is an assignment.
Okay.
So this creates your virtual environment for you. Remember, we are using Python 3. Now, if I list out, I see that I have a virtual environment here. Yes. I can interact with. So to activate that, I'll now execute it. I'll now execute, let us look at this file properly. So we're trying to create a virtual environment that we can use while working with Python. Like we don't want to run and install um, our libraries directly on our Python environment. So that's what we're trying to do here. Is that, do you understand that? Yeah, this is Python.
So I think the person is asking if you're doing this on the Python that was downloaded or terminal. I think that was the person. Just like what I asked.
This is an examiner. So when you download Python, you have it installed on your machine. You can see that in your terminal like this. Are we all here? So question from Etin. Go ahead, Etin.
Oh, yes. Hi, Michael. My question is, are you doing this on the IDE like Visual Studio Code or Command Prompt or PowerShell?
Right now we've not gone to ID. We're still on the terminal right here. So we write our code using a text editor and execute that here within this environment. But first of all, we are trying to create a virtual environment so that when we install or import a library like this, right? It is not installed on our main environment. Like
My question is for Windows
so,
individuals, do they do this on a Command Prompt or PowerShell?
did we all download Git Bash? Did we all download Git?
Oh, yeah. I think Windows we have Git. A good majority of us have it.
We try to run this in Git Bash so that you have the same you can run the
Okay.
same Linux commands and have the same interface. But if you don't have that, you can do this with PowerShell as well. Okay.
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 Is there a place we can get the commands you are running also to replicate?
So I can go over it again if you thinking. What I did was I'm trying to create a virtual environment first of all before we start working with the various modules that we need. So I created a new directory, Python for DevOps. And in that directory, I did Python 3-m VM as a virtual environment to create a virtual environment. Well, to create a virtual environment, and I named this KodeCamp virtual environment. Before that, I installed virtual environment as a module that I'm using. Installed virtual environments using pip is your package manager. Because the same way you have apps-get in apps-get in your events environment that contains all the packages, most of the packages that you need. Keep contains most of the packages that you need to work with in Python. So you do pip install virtual environment, virtual and that installs the virtual environment for you so that you can now create a virtual environment using Python VM. Like I said in the beginning, I'm more interested in using Python in DevOps, not exactly teaching Python from scratch. Okay, so I'll just explain some of these things and provide resources that you can use to get more understanding and get more background and from scratch knowledge in Python. If there are any questions you have, especially for the people that may not have any programming or technical background, please, I'm expecting questions so that I can explain it better. Hello, Michelle.
Yes, sir. Thank God you've mentioned people like us, because most people here, they know these things. This command line, Python 3 minus M ben 2, what does that mean? What exactly are you trying to do there? I understood where you did the download and everything. From ls minus lr there, if you can just explain from what actually you're trying to do here. Yes, sir. Maybe the next 4 lines from there,
You
from
mean
that
this?
ls.
You mean here?
Yes, before that, just go up a bit. The first one, the ls there. Up, just go up again.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
the one before it, up until the 5th or 6th line. What are you trying to do, sir? Yes, sir.
Is it here? This one I highlighted.
Yes, sir. Starting from ls. Why doing ls after the download? What are you trying to after the installation? Just explain for me, sir.
Okay, this is to show you. This is I did ls. I did ls before I ran this creation of virtual environments. I did ls, and this was an empty folder, right? This was show you that the folder was empty. On
Okay, sir.
running this Python VM, on naming this is the name of the Python 3 -n. We have your VM to call this tool that you've installed. This tool that you've installed here using pip install virtual environment.
Yes,
To
sir.
call this tool, you're calling it to this VM here, and then you're putting in your environment name, right? This is the
Which is that
syntax.
KodeCamp. This is indeed this.
Yes, that's all I did. And that now creates this folder for me. It creates this folder that contains,
Okay.
let me see, it contains various packages that I can execute. Right. Let me see this. Okay. There's a bin directory and there's a level directory, and all within this created for me right here. And using the bin, file software in the bin directory. Then activate.ps1, right? This is for a Windows environment. PS1, that is the extension for power. Activate this. You activate it like this. The name of your environment, sorry, and bin slash active.ps1, right? This dot
Because it's
here
Mac, no need.
helps me to execute externally, but I'm in a Linux environment, so I'm doing source this slash activate. This is to activate your virtual environment, right? I did that here. I did that here, right? And you see there's now a different, there's something different that has come up here. Hmm? This is different from what you have here. So this is now showing me that I'm in my virtual environment. I'm working in my virtual environment. If I import OS module, for instance, then I have to run this within the code. I have to run this within. Okay, let me see if I can get it free for OS. Let's specify a version for that. Let me find the version. We just use it directly from our code. Hello. Hello, Junaid. Yes, please go ahead. Your question.
I want to ask if we are going to use the root user or if just the normal background user. Hello? You get
Hello.
me?
Yes, I get you.
Okay.
You're working on your terminal. You're working on your terminal now, not on Vagrant.
Okay.
You're looking at the terminal of your computer.
Okay.
Do you understand what I mean?
Yes, sir. But this I don't actually have
Okay,
do you mean
what can you
command
see?
prompt? The command prompt, right?
Use terminal. Terminal.
Is it the command prompt?
Terminal. Terminal. Go to your
Terminal.
Windows search and search for
Yeah,
terminal.
it's bringing the command prompt here as terminal.
Do you have Git bash?
Yes, I have Git bash.
Okay. So let's use that.
Okay. Yeah, that's why I'm asking. I'm using Git bash.
Okay. So we're going to create a file in here. We're going to call it right. Let's paste that purpose. I'll open this file on VS Code so that we can work with it. Okay. So permission to share my screen again. Okay. Now I can import OS. right? And say I want to use the one of the ones we talked about, print working directory, right? We know on our okay. So we want to do this PWD, this print working directory, using our code. So we want to automate that process. We can use a function. And everyone see my terminal. I think I need to make this bigger.
Could you please zoom in? I've been raising my hand.
Okay. Okay. Sorry, Etin, go ahead.
Oh, it was to tell you to zoom in. We couldn't see anything. You couldn't see the font. It was too tiny.
Okay. It's better now.
It's I think it's better now.
Okay. So in here again, on this my terminal. Can you see my terminal here?
Can you increase it a little bit? It's still a bit.
You can see zoom to the very maximum. Some of us we
It's,
we doing a little much also.
Hello. 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 Etin,
it's
can you go
better
ahead?
now. Yes, it's better now.
Okay. Thank you. So right here on this my terminal, you can see that I'm in my local directory, right? I'm not in the virtual environment that has been created. So I have to activate it here as well. Using source, using basically going to bin, and I will activate it. So now get my virtual environment. And on the virtual environment now. So I want to use my OS. And the class I'm using within this OS module. Remember, a module is a collection. Let us work with. So to write a comment, a module is a collection of functions, right? In fact, the collection of functions to perform a task. So I have various functions within this OS module that help me to interact with my operating system. So with OS dot get current working directory, right? And remember, at the end of every function, you have to put your bracket. So with this, I can get the working directory that I am in at the moment. Say, okay. So I'll save this. I want to run it with Python 3 now. So you see that does the same thing as PWD. Okay. Has everybody been able to do this? Okay. All right. Okay. So a simple use case for this is, say you want to create a file within a particular directory, and you want to make sure that you're in that directory before you create it, right? Simple explanation that you want. Create a file, create a, let's create a directory within Python for DevOps. Right? There are some questions in the chat. I will come to that. Okay. So with this, when we get this point of working directory, we can use one of the things we talked about, which is our foundational statements, right? To ensure that we are within this directory. Okay. Now, please watch the syntax here. So for my in statement, I did this colon, and you see that I've done this indentation for me, right? To show that flip, which I'm going to write next, is within this if block, rather than what you might be used to in maybe other languages. Okay. So that's how we create our blocks in Python. So if this is the current working directory, we are going to use the make dir to create a new directory called let's call it test codes. Right? And also this should be else. So you want to change the directory to this directory. So let's put this in a variable. Right? So let's work with variables. So I'm trying to touch on most of the things that we mentioned in our theoretical class, right? Okay. Okay. So somebody should come up and interpret the code for me before I try to run it really quickly. I want someone that's might not have programming knowledge. Is there anybody like that?
Okay, I
That
don't have
doesn't have
program.
that
I
doesn't
don't
have a
have
background in programming?
nothing. I have nothing.
I'm sorry. Mr. Tango, please, can you kindly put down here? People that don't have programming knowledge. Thank you. What good? No. You say,
I don't have
you say,
hope.
uh, um, I thought you say it more personal.
Yes, I do, sir.
Okay,
I have,
okay, Lucy,
yes, sir.
Lucy, let us
I'm
work
with you, sir.
this. Let's see what we have here. So this, what am I doing here? From the first part of the code, what's happening here? So I'm importing the module, right?
Yes, sir.
Right. So I'm going to just be putting comments to explain the code based on what you're saying. So here I'm importing the OS module. This OS module was written by developers. This is mentioned by developers that I don't know, but it helps me to perform various tasks within my operating system, so that I won't have to start writing the logic for how to get the present working directory, right? Let me see something. See the if this works. Chika, you have your hand up.
Yes, sir. I have my hand up. Good
Okay.
evening, sir.
Good evening.
Please don't laugh at me if I ask my
No,
question.
no, of
So what
course
you are
not.
doing, I like it. It's very, very beautiful. But the truth is that I don't understand, and I want to start doing it so I to look beautiful as your own. I've downloaded Git Bash. What else should I do?
Okay. So, okay, let's just do this. Let's make it easier. Let's make this easy. So you have Git Bash. Do you have Visual Studio?
Yes, I have Git Bash and I have
Visual Studio.
Visual Studio. Is it the same as VS Code? Yes, I have
Yes,
VS
yes,
Code. I have
yes,
VS Code.
yes, VS Code.
Yes, I have it.
Okay. So open VS Code. Let's open VS Code.
Okay, it's already open
All
now.
of us, are
All of
Okay.
us, all of us.
okay, sir.
Line 11. So there's an error on line 11. Okay. Okay. So this is an error. This was part of my file name. Let me put that back there. Okay. Run that again. Sorry, guys. Just a moment. So did we see what happened? Hmm? You see,
Something
it has
just
Is it
created.
me?
tripped now.
Let me delete it again. So let's list this what is in this folder. Don't worry, we'll come to you, Chika. Just a
Okay,
moment.
thank you.
Yes. Just a moment. So we have this environment. This is our environment that we create a PC and VM. And then we have Python internet files that we're working with here. We are writing a code to import the OS module. The next line is going to create a variable, right? It creates a variable and it saves the value. It saves a path. It saves it a path in the variable, right? Okay. Remember we said variables have variable types. Somebody that is relatively new to programming, you tell us what variable type this is. Okay. Now after that, we then We're now getting the working directory. This is equivalent to the Linux command pwd, right? Remember this. Remember all these things that are commented out because of this hash that I'm putting here. If I put this hash here, it should comment that out. Remember that that is not going to run because it's a comment, right? And then we have somebody should tell me what kind of variable this is. What the data type is going to be. Fine.
String.
Thank you. Thank you. So that is a string. Why is it a string?
Alphabets and symbols.
Alphabet. If I have directory file equals to right?
Sorry, and the last thing, the quotes, strings and quotes.
Yes. So yes. So we have this quotes here, which shows that it's a string. Okay. So we now have this conditional statements here. Remember conditional statements that creates directory if not present. Okay, creates this directory if we are okay. So that's what this code is for. It imports the OS model so that it can use the functions to use the OS model. It then creates a variable and stores the path that we want inside that variable. Then it gets the previous working directory and saves it in this variable. Then it evaluates if this present working directory is equal to this directory that we want to create our file in, right? After it does that, if it is true, if these two values are true, it creates this path, this directory. If it's not true, then it changes directory to this directory here. Okay. So cheaper. So let's run it, right? So run it, you do Python 3, if you're working with Python 3 and execute this. Make sure you save your file as a Python file by using this .py, right? And then you execute this, and it's now creates this directory for you, which wasn't here before. Okay, quickly, Chika.
Okay, sir. So I've opened my VS Code.
Okay, you open VS Code. It's more than likely that you might. Just start from where you will be. So you'll be saying something like this.
Yes, something similar.
Okay. So you see this open here.
Yes.
Okay. Have you created the directory for this particular lesson? Have you done that?
No, I've not.
Okay. So what you can do now is you can come to terminal. Can you see terminal?
No.
usually need to be easy to just like click open and to bring out your files for you, and you can easily open the file. But since you don't have the file created, I wanted us to use the terminal. In fact, I want us to use the terminal so that we can get used to using the terminal. So you have to bring up this terminal. It will be where you have file object selection. It should just be in your taskbar up there. Can you see your taskbar? You have file and some other things there. Something like
I've seen
file,
them.
edit. You've seen them. Have you seen terminal there?
Yes.
Yeah.
I should open
Okay.
new terminal.
Yes, new terminal.
Okay.
Okay. So PWD, personal directory line. Okay. So I'm going to CD, say a particular folder, some documents. This is my own documents. I have KodeCamp, I have Hanson, and I have Python for DevOps.
So I should create a directory for DevOps.
Create a directory for KodeCamp for your
Oh,
Hanson. Yeah. How do you do that? Tell me what you write. Tell me what you're writing. Let me write it here.
I'm
Okay.
trying to create a folder for the first CodeCamp. That's mkdir CodeCamp.
Okay.
Then
Okay. Then what?
then I'll enter it into it and create the other one.
Okay. So you create it and then you enter into it and create
Mm,
the Hanson folder.
mm. Oh, there's a way you can, I was thinking it's possible to write mkdir, then the folder, the CodeCamp, then you put slash create another, write the other name, put slash and until you get to
You
the
do that
person.
recursively. You do your put your dash R flag right hand. Create that recursively. So we are going to have this same class again, but specifically practicals, since we've gone through the theoretical part of it. So in the next class we will do practicals. I hope everybody's excited for that. Chica, I hope you're excited for that.
So I'm not able to hear, I did not hear what you said.
I said that we've gone through the basic theoretical class today. In our next class, we are going to be more practical and do most of the practicals that we need to do and automating various things using Python.
Okay, you
Various
mean to tell me that we
tools.
have done basic like this? I don't know anything. Oh, I don't know anything, so I
Okay,
don't know
hold
any
on.
basic.
Excuse me. Wait. We are going to do the practicals and we'll keep on talking about the basic concepts. You know, when I was writing this code, I tried to go over indentation, I tried to go over if conditions, I tried to go over um, variables and data types. So we'll be along with the practicals that we'll be doing. We'll try to be explaining various concepts in the same practice, because I know that of course there are many people who might not have a background in tech because here, right? So we're going to still talk about the practical. It's not like we are going to give immediately dive. We'll still try to keep up and give explanations to various concepts. So um in that practical class, I really appreciate that as much as possible. Try to ask questions like we're doing now. Right. Okay. So once again, thank you so much for joining the class. I'll be seeing you in the next class. But let's not get discouraged. I'll see you in the next class so that we can go deeper into these various concepts practically. Right? Okay. Thank you so much. And goodbye.